Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to run multivariable regression in Excel by using course evaluation data. Now, as I said, the first thing you need to do is to prepare the data for analysis. So this data set is different from the top 100 nonprofit data set because in the top 100 nonprofit data set, all the variables, the values of all the variables are already in numerical format. While in this course evaluation data, you're going to see, okay, some of the variables, so for instance, gender is still in characters, right, in strings. The level of challenges and how much did you learn from this course are all and the other variables are all in character textual format, right? So they are not ready for analysis. So what you're gonna do is, okay, let's first Control C, Control V, paste it in a new sheet. All right. So because I don't want to mess up with the original data set, it may have some issues afterwards. Suppose now I'm interested in using a year in Grand Valley, gender, as well as level of challenges, and how much did you learn from the course to predict the perceived satisfaction. All right. So what I'm gonna do is first, this is definitely too long, right? So as a variable name, it's too long. So let's rename some of the variables. So the first one we will say school year, right? So the second one, gender or sex, and this is the satisfaction level, and this is the challenges, and this is how much you learn. All right. So these are the variables I'm interested in. Okay. So now first I want to make some rearrangements because this is our dependent variable, right? So remember, in multivariable regression in Excel, you need to put all the independent variables next to each other, right? So that's how I'm going to do with this one. All right, so I'm going to cut it and insert one here, paste the special value. Let's see if it works. Oh, no, that doesn't work. So let's insert the cut value. All right, so this is our dependent. Now these are our independent variables. Now what we are going to do is first we need to recode all of this. All right. So for sex, let's say we code female as 1 and male as 0. All right. So you can just simply say, okay, that will be our sex. So female is 1, male is 0. Why we want to code female as 1? Generally, social scientists are more interested in female, being female. Why? It's not because female are more beautiful, and the main reason is because they are historically being discriminated, right? So you probably heard a lot of leadership positions are still held by male, right? So this is because of social discrimination. So that's why we are interested put a male as 0, right, as a reference group, and we want to understand how being a female is kind of different in any social situations, right? So now challenges, right? So let's insert another column and put a challenge in here. Yeah, sorry, it's a bit long. Challenge, right? Yeah. Okay, now if you check all the options, you'll probably discover that this is from 1 to 5, right? Only the very unchallenging is not an option being selected here. But anyway, we understand that there's another option called very unchallenging, right? Yeah. So this option is not been selected here, but we understand that it's there. All right. So neutral will be 3, and the moderately challenging will be 4, slightly unchallenging 2, 4, 5, 4, 3, 3, 4, 2, 4, 4, 5, 4, and 5. Okay, so it seemed the majority of the class think, okay, it's either moderately challenging or very challenging, right? So this will be our challenging. Okay, so then the last variable we are going to deal with is how much you learn, right? Learn. So a lot, a little, a moderate, a great deal, right? So then how many options over here? So a moderate amount, a little, a lot, and a great deal. So a great deal will be, I believe, will be the 4, right? 4 different options. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 different options. So let's code it from 1 to 4. So 1 will be the least, say a little, all right? And 2 will be a moderate amount, 3 will be a lot, 4 will be a great deal. Okay, so let's recode it. 3, a little means 1, and moderate amount 2, 3, 2, 1, 5, no, that's 4, sorry. That's 3, 2, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now, so far we coded all our variables, right? So so now we can run the regression. So again, go to data analysis regression, and then the first one we are going to say is A1 to A17, right? So A1 to A17 is our dependent variable. Now we want to see our independent variable here, right? So we have 4 different independent variables: year, sex, challenging, and learn. So that one is from B1 to E16, right? So B1 to E16, right? B1 to E17, sorry. Now, why we want to do that is because we are going to put all these independent variables together, right? Otherwise, you won't be able to deal with it. So now the output range. Now this time we are going to put it over here, right? Down here. So let's say B22. Oh, sorry about that. B1, 1, 2, E17. So this one we are going to select B22, right? So then you don't need that. As I said, we only need the table. All right, again, so now let's check some of the important things, right? So here is the p-value and the coefficient and the R-square. All right. So let's take a look at each of them. All right. So first, which one is significant? So it turns out the year you spend at GBSU, it doesn't matter for your satisfaction level of the course, right? And there's no significant difference between gender. So which means being female did not affect your satisfaction level of the course. And your feeling about whether or not the course is more challenging, it doesn't affect your satisfaction level. The only thing matters here is your perceived learning, right? So how much you learn from the course, that will significantly influence your satisfaction, perceived satisfaction. So because this p-value is less than 0.05, right? It's 0.01, less than 0.05. So we would say this is a significant relationship. Now, how we are going to interpret the results? So start with 1 unit change in your independent variable, which is how much you learn, right? So from a little to a moderate amount to a lot and to a great deal. So this is the ordinal variable, right? So it's 1 unit change means you increase the one category in how much you learn, right? So this is 1 unit change in your independent side. So that will result in how many units change in your dependent variable, which is your satisfaction level. This is from 0 to 100 scale point, right? So that will result in almost 24 scale points, right? So, and this is significant, which means if you feel or perceive your the amount of the contents you learned increased by one category, it will increase your satisfaction level by 23.63 scale points. Right? So this is a significant relationship. So in plain language, you would say, if you feel you learn more from the class, you are more satisfied, right? Which makes sense. It's very intuitive and it makes sense. All right, so finally, let's check about the R square, right? So the R square here is close to 48 or 50, right? So half of the total variation can be explained by this model. So we would say we only use 1, 2, 3, 4 different independent variables and explained half of the total variation in your dependent variable. We would say this is probably a good model, right? It's at least it's not bad. Right, so this is how we're going to interpret the results. All right, so that would be all for this